Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a special message for today's alignment 23-23. So each month we have two powerful alignments. The first one is when the day aligns with the month. This one is for short-term evolutionary process and for short-term manifestations. And then we have yearly alignment when the day aligns with the year 23-23. This one is for long-term evolutionary process, long-term manifestation. This day increases the power of long-term manifestations, whatever you're working on that feels important to you on a long shot. This is truly a beautiful time today to set some goals, set some intentions for something you're working on for the next few months or even years. It will plant seeds, and the seeds will be charged with much stronger energy that will be more grounded and more, let's say, strong when it comes to the ability to grow into something that you want to see. At the same time, today, Sun entered into the zodiac sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio brings us this awareness of deep sensitivity for anything that may come across our way. Sometimes inspiration and insights and clarity and wisdom, and also fears and some negative emotions. We may become a bit more sensitive around these things, so we can easily identify what may help us on this process to become who we came here to be. So Scorpio also allows us to be focus-minded, to focus on certain goals, to be determined. Scorpios are often, sensual, mysterious, and have this deep sense of a need for self-care so they can recharge and work on their dreams. It's a water sign, so it's also reminding us to have a mind like water, to be calm, to learn to be calm. Like Bruce Lee said, be like water, which means to learn to be always calm. Whatever happens, be calm. If it happens, be calm. If it doesn't happen, be calm. And we know it's not something that we've been kinda hypnotized to be. It's something we need to train ourselves to be, because as we've been through conditioning, we've been exposed to all kinds of triggers and everything else but calmness, right? So we're learning to be calm. And I want to give you a few reminders for today, how to use this present energy, especially today, to sit down and to remind yourself that you don't get in life what you need and what you want. You get in life what you are, who you are. And once you train yourself to feel like what you want is already present, you've heard those things before. When you train yourself to feel like what you want is already present, you start noticing synchronicities happening in your life. It doesn't mean that whole day long you will be vibing in this state of receiving, in this state like what you want is already yours. But if you have practices in your day that allow you to enter into this state of gratitude, into this state where what you want is already yours, you will notice that a deep sense of reassurance arises within you. Like you just start to know that it will work out. You start to trust that it will work out. So trust is not a mental thing. It's not an intellectual thing. Like I believe that I trust into myself, or you think yourself into trusting. It doesn't work. What truly works is that you awaken the energy of gratitude for it coming into your life. Being grateful like it's already part of your life. You don't say, I'm waiting to see it. You don't say, I hope it will find me. You say, it's already mine. It's already mine. And then you act accordingly. That's how we become the alchemists, right? And you know those things. We all know those things. If we're into manifestation, if we're into super conscious information, we've heard it before, but it's not about hearing it over and over again. It's about being reminded, so we practice it. As we're practicing it, we are becoming better at it, right? And then taking action is just reassurance to the universe that actually we already have it. We're keep working on it because we know that we are making just more of it. For example, when you want to create more abundance in your life, you just work on your dreams, you work on your goals because you just want to make it grow. It's already yours. Idea found you, and idea is already a seed of abundance. And then you work on it because only by working on it, you're nurturing that seed that is already growing. So, you know, when you plant a seed of an apple tree, you know that that seed within has a potential for apples that will eventually grow on that tree. You know they're already there, but they need to grow into actual apples. They need to grow, you know, it needs to grow into a tree so it can give birth to those apples. But you've planted a seed because you already know that this potential is within it. You already know that it will grow into an actual tree that will bear apples. And same is with manifestations. We take action because we already know that it will take us there. But it's not about, you know, sometimes people say, how can I deal with disappointment? Like, it didn't happen and I'm disappointed. It just means that actually you're allowing your results to affect on your state of being. So you're dependent by what's happening to you, and therefore you're a victim of it. But you have to remind yourself that you're doing these things because you love to do them. You're not doing it because you want to see results. You do it because you love to do it. So make sure that you do what you love to do. Make sure that you build goals out of what you love to do. What matters to manifest great things if you don't want then to enjoy them, if you can't find yourself being in love with any of that? So make sure that you design a life that you love to live, so you can love a life you love, right? And that's how you can turn anything into a possibility. And today's day will just amplify everything you're working on. So if you take time and reflect a little bit how everything is going, what would you like to amplify, to recharge with today's energy, with your attention and intention and attitude of gratitude, you will notice that many synchronicities will start happening in the next upcoming days and weeks, and it will just support you on that process. I can tell you that because I'm doing it and I'm seeing so many great things happening in my life. So that's why I'm constantly reminding you of that. Another thing that I want to remind you is it's deep, because it reminds us that when we are in relationships, most of the time we're in relationships because we're learning to forgive. We are learning to forgive, and once we become good at forgiving, we start attracting really wonderful people into our lives. But before we learn to forgive, we usually meet many people who are disappointing us, who are mean towards us, who are angry towards us, and so on and so on. And then people are complaining like, oh, those people are so bad and so negative and so toxic and so on. And you notice, well, you're constantly saying bad things about them. You're constantly complaining about them. But forgiveness, what forgiveness does? Forgiveness says thanks for the lessons. Thanks for what you taught me. You don't need to, spend time with them if you don't like them. But still don't complain about them, because by complaining, you are hurting, not them. You are hurting. When you're complaining, when you're judging them, when you're gossiping about them, you are hurting. So when you learn to forgive, you learn to leave that behind, but you take wisdom with you into the future, right? That's the power of forgiveness. And once you recognize that you're here so you can learn to forgive, so you can take care of soul contracts with some souls, you have contracts because they have decided to be your teachers before you came here. Some decided to be your triggers. Some decided to be your guides. And when you notice that somebody triggers you and you actually remind yourself, oh, this is my soul friend. He's just playing a character that is teaching me to recognize my own triggers, to recognize my own wounds so I can heal myself. You recognize that actually I don't need to be so angry towards them. I can actually just, speed up this process and actually learn to forgive and move on with my life. Faster you do it, faster you start leveling up on that spectrum of frequency where you start meeting new people. But it's not about attaching to wanting to meet new people. It's just about truly becoming okay with yourself, falling in love with yourself. If you're alone, you're fine with that because you love yourself so much that you want to know yourself better. And the best way to know yourself better is to be alone and to go within and to see how you're thinking, see what talents you have, see what you like to do, see what you don't like to do, see what kind of food you like, see what kind of food you don't like, and so on. And notice how you're functioning so you can know yourself better. So you can actually invest more time into what you love to do and develop some talents that you already have and develop some skills that can help you to change your life. And once you start doing more of that, the amplification of energy just starts happening. And now I want to show you something special because today's alignment, that is 2323, is super special because in numerology it brings us to number 55, and number 55 is super important number. Firstly, in numerology it has a name of a genius, and I will explain you why. If we look at the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence, you will notice that number 55 is in the last triangle, in the last phase of this golden ratio spiral, which means that everything in the nature works through this golden ratio. But the last part of the spiral is the most evolved part of it because it's the oldest. If you look at any evolution of any event or any plant in the nature, or a shell here on the photo that you're watching, you will notice that in the center there's the youngest part of manifestation of whatever thing. But outside of it, this last part of golden ratio is the oldest. And it reminds us of insights and wisdom we gain through transformation that is happening. And 55 is a sign of constant change, and it has a name of a genius because you become a genius when you keep doing something over and over again. Like this golden ratio is reminding us when something is happening over and over and over and over again, it is actually evolving in a spiral motion where knowledge, experiences, manifestations are amplifying and amplifying in a Fibonacci sequence, which means that we always know more. And again, this is just amplifying, it is constantly amplifying, and that's 55 is the last part of this golden ratio. It means that it's the most intelligent part. It's, if we are doing something for a long time, we become really intelligent about it. So this day is also reminding us of the importance of consistency. When you're consistent with whatever you're doing, you become really intelligent in it. So people often are wondering how certain geniuses are just, how they are, like a Picasso, for example, or Leonardo da Vinci, or whoever genius that was in the past. But if we study their lives, we recognize they were doing their thing extremely more frequently than anybody else. They were completely into it. They were thinking all day long about it. They were doing and practicing it all day long. They were all about it. That's how they became geniuses. That's the golden ratio effect. Whatever we do consistently, the knowledge, the experiences, the energy around it is amplifying. That's why you see some people really mastering their skill, not because they are talented, but because they've been so consistent with it that they became really, really good at it. And today's day is reminding you of the importance of that. Whatever you want to manifest, you will manifest it through consistency, through consistent practice of doing it. If you want to be richer, wealthier, keep practicing what can allow you to experience an infinite wealth. Most probably, if you have a job that is paying you a certain limited amount, you will not experience an infinite wealth there. But if you start something that can provide you, like where wealth depends of your creative process, of your work, of your management of time, you can actually open up a possibility of infinite wealth that will just start increasing through your consistency. Through consistency, you grow, and if you stay flexible, you will keep learning new things. And if you keep learning new things, you will grow in such a way that you will find ways that before were invisible to you. And that's how we learn the power of manifestation. We don't know what brings the next day, but we know that if today we do our best, tomorrow, if tomorrow comes, will bring us new opportunities. And that's how we evolve, right? So today's day is super powerful when it comes to manifestation and when it comes to your personal and soul evolution. So recognize in what direction you're moving yourself. What are your present challenges? And rather than thinking about the problems, also think about potential solutions, or how could you solve them, with whom you could talk. And invest your time into it, because you will notice that most people, or most of the time when we find challenges, we are actually not thinking about solutions, but about challenges. And we are thinking about how painful it is, how bad it is, how hard it is, instead of thinking about how to resolve it, what books to read that could actually open up our awareness a little bit to resolve it. So think about that, my friend. How much you're actually investing your time into potential solutions, because that will awaken you to a new degree of awareness and understanding that actually you're here on purpose, and everything that's happening to you right now is happening to you for a reason, to awaken you, so you can discover that actually all those things were just guiding you deeper into your purpose, deeper into your natural gifts, where you start developing it and becoming better at it, so you can design a life around them, because that's the life you will truly love when you do what you love. And that's when life starts loving you back, because when you give more love, you get more love. And when the love is truly generous, when it's not, meant like I love you, it's really coming from the whole being. You do it with whole of yourself. That's wholeness. You put your wholeness into work, and that's when you become whole, right? My friends, this is it for today. I hope you found something valuable, and use this day for manifestation. Write down some goals, big ones, and write down some plans, and write down what will you do today and tomorrow and the next week and the next month, so you can get there. Write down your potential distractions, so you can also write down a not to-do list, right? We know to-do list, but we also need to know not to-do list, what I am stop doing, so I can focus on this. My friends, I hope you've enjoyed in this one. Also, don't forget we are running a unique sale, 20 off to all of my art, so go into the link in the description to our art Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion, check it out, and thank you so much for your support. With that, you're supporting this mission, and I'm truly grateful for that. Till next time, one.